Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dorothy McKee, and I'm the course director for the MSc Executive Leadership. The MSc Executive Leadership is one of our premier executive development programs. It's now been running for almost 20 years, and we have made a considerable number of adjustments and improvements based on our strong links in Ulster with organisations across all sectors to the programme. Today I'm hoped to be joined by one of the alumni from the programme who will be able to give you a bit more insight into what studying at Ulster is like and their experiences of successfully completing the MSc Executive Leadership. As I said, as course director, I've had a considerable involvement with this programme over the last 10 years, and we've had a wide range of different applicants from across all sectors on the programme. The programme is run on a north-south basis in partnership with Irish Times Training and with the Global Leadership Institute in Boston. And I'll tell you a bit more about that and how that all works in a moment. We have had representatives from the executive on the programme. We've had ministers of religion, people from very senior roles across the public sector in Northern Ireland, people who have been between careers, who have perhaps run businesses of their own and are now looking for a change in career direction. So the course is very diverse, and that's one of the major strengths in terms of the peer learning that happens on the programme. Okay, so what are some of the benefits of studying at Ulster University? Well, I have to say I'm a great advocate as a former graduate myself from Ulster University, but as I said, a lot of the people that come on the MSc are mid-career people, and they may want to change their career. And I've seen a number of people who've been very successful in gaining promotions or in making a career change as a result of their experience on the MSc to get a positive or a competitive edge in employment. And again, a lot of the people that have gone through the MSc over the years have said to me that their experience on the MSc has given them confidence. It's also given them a wide range of networks and contacts, and that can also be very important in terms of being able to raise your own personal brand and contacts in terms of gaining future career success. Personal fulfillment. A lot of the people on the programme haven't studied for a considerable period of time, and they find it very, very rewarding when they do finally complete the course. So they have a great degree of pride in their own achievement. We have a wide range of expertise that we can call upon in the courses in Ulster University, and it's not just the staff that are employed like myself by Ulster University, but we network widely internationally. And quite recently I had a person who's very experienced in the whole field of governance who signed in from New Zealand to actually talk to a group of the MSc students. So we have a lot of expertise that we can tap into, not only in terms of the staff within the university, but also through our visiting professors and the wide range of expertise that the university can call upon. A quite interesting feature of the MSc is the fact that we also have a lot of industry links, and through our partnership with the Irish Times Training, we're able to bring in also a lot of practitioners, and people find it very interesting meeting people who have actually been major transformational change or who have led very successful initiatives within their organisations. Supported by a study environment, we have got fantastic resources available to our students, and people who come on the programme really welcome the access that they can have to the resources available through our library and the support that you get from the staff in the library as well. So the course, the MSc Executive Leadership, is an academic qualification, and it's very widely regarded right across Ireland. And you also, as I said, will get great links with industry bodies and employers, and that happens through the networking that happens on the MSc and also through the alumni events that I'll mention in a few moments. Okay, so what are some of the quantifiable benefits of studying at Ulster? You will see from the table that postgraduates earn an additional £7,000 compared to other colleagues. Also, you will see that 21% of postgraduates are 21% more likely to be in highly skilled employment. Increase in earnings, and then also you will see in the reports that are mentioned there some of the very positive outcomes of studying postgraduate courses. So our offer for postgraduate study in Ulster, it's flexible, and that's why a lot of the mid-career people that come on the MSc Executive Leadership enjoy the flexibility of the course. It's not like studying at undergraduate level. We do design the program so that people can make sure that they can fit this program in around their busy schedules. And most of the people that come on the program are in employment, and they do appreciate the degree of flexibility that they have with studying a program on a part-time basis. Also, there are options in terms of the MSc Executive Leadership. The whole program is equivalent to 180 credits at level 7, but you can also complete a postgraduate certificate in executive leadership, a postgraduate diploma in executive leadership, and if you complete either of those shorter programs, you can then use those credits to actually complete the full MSc at a later stage, and a number of people have done so successfully. Applying to Ulster, these are just the details. If you are interested, there is no official closing date for most courses. We do have a rolling system in Ulster University. So if you are interested, though, I would recommend that you do register early. And you can also apply for multiple courses, though I would suggest if you are thinking of doing the MSc, the level of study required would be sufficient on its own. Again, if you need support in terms of completing your application, we can help or provide support in that regard. So in terms of the fees and the finance, these are just some of the fees for some of the standard courses. The MSc Executive Leadership does cost more. The fees for it are £12,000. Those can be paid either into instalments if your employer is supporting you at the start of each of the academic years, or if you're self-funding, we do have flexible payment options that we can support you with in terms of paying in instalments across the whole programme. If you're a former graduate of Ulster, you get a 10% discount, and there's also a 5% discount if you make the full payment up front. And it's also worth researching some of the loans that are available to people if they want to study this course. Okay, this is how the course is actually broken down. You have Leadership for the Future, which would take you through a lot of the contemporary models and theories of leadership. And this is very current at the moment. A lot of people are very interested in leadership and leadership thinking. Then we have Executive Coaching and Mentoring, and that's actually taken by Dr. Arthur Turner, who is a specialist in this area, and his modules always go down very well because of his quite unique approach to actually delivering the module. And to complete that module, you actually do 6 hours coaching or mentoring and reflect on your whole experience of doing so. Leadership for Transformational Change is very topical at the moment, and people do enjoy actually getting into this module and thinking about how their own personal experiences of transformational change relate to the module. The study visit then is normally seen as the highlight of the programme, and normally that takes place in February, though there have had to be some changes because of COVID this year. The study visit to the Global Leadership Institute is a week-long study visit, and you get to meet some leading academics and also some people who have been very successful in setting up businesses in Boston. A number of the people coming on the programme actually have successfully completed courses from Ulster as well. So some of the people that we get to meet in Boston are actually alumni from the MSc Executive Leadership. These are some of the further modules that you'll study. You've got financial management, governance and business ethics, creating the future, which is all around strategy. And again, people find this a very useful module. And I know that a number of the people who have gone through the MSc have actually used this learning very effectively within their own organisations, or even in preparing for interview. I know a particular student who took the learning from this module, used it to prepare for an interview they were going for with a company, and were actually successful in gaining employment with that organisation. Leading digital transformation is a very, very relevant module for today. And again, we have an external lecturer who lectures at the University of Warwick, who actually takes this module. Again, it's delivered through a very different style, and people really enjoy the variety of different lectures that they get in this programme and the different approaches that they take. Then finally, you do a research study, and that can be either a project or a dissertation, and that's done on any leadership topic of your choice. You are supported through your study to do the dissertation. You're aligned with one of the academics in the university. Now, again, some people have done really, really interesting and useful pieces of research for their dissertation. And a number of the students who've been through the MSc have actually published papers and had those papers presented at conference as well. So if you were interested at a later stage in going down an academic route, this is a good place to start. And some of our alumni also have gone on to pursue doctorates as well. This is just some photographs that were taken in Boston College. As I say, this tends to be the highlight of the programme for people. They really enjoy a week away where they can immerse themselves fully in their studies, and they get to meet some really interesting people. And the academics and also the people who we meet in a range of the companies that we visit are very generous in giving us their time. We do tend to get invited into the C-suite to meet the senior executives in the successful organisations we visit. Some of the companies we have visited in the past include organisations like Fidelity. We've also visited Biogen, Smashfly, which is a tech company, but they specialise in recruitment, and they have offices in both Belfast and Boston. So you can see the sort of contacts that you can make. We've also visited the British Embassy, and people have been invited to the Irish Embassy as well. So it's a fantastic opportunity to network, and the people that we meet out in Boston are very welcoming and always extend a hand of welcome in terms of keeping contact with any of the students if they're interested in following up and maintaining contact with them after they've been to Boston. Another great advantage of completing the MSc Executive Leadership is that you become part of an alumni, and we do organise ongoing events where alumni can get together. This is an example of an event that we held about 18 months ago, and it was called Lenses on Leadership Now and in the Future. And you will see that, you know, we had some great speakers there. We had Dr. Robert Morrow from the Global Leadership Institute in Boston. We Paul Levy, who I mentioned is one of the tutors who takes a module on digital leadership. We had Sarah Havlin, who is an alumni from the course, and then we had Judith Gillespie, who is one of our visiting professors. And people really were energized through this event and really enjoyed it. So there are great opportunities not only to network with the people that are on your program, but also to meet people who've completed the MSc in previous years. And as the course has been running now for 20 years, there's a very wide reach of people, both north and south of the border, and also from England as well. We've currently got somebody from Glasgow studying the MSc at the moment, and in the cohort previous we had somebody from Cambridge. This is just a slide of the new Belfast campus, and it will be opening its doors in September 2021, and there will be tremendous resources available in this new campus, and it is state-of-the-art building and will be a very nice environment for the students to actually pursue their studies in. This is just updating you on COVID-19. We're continuing to operate safely, but the hope is that we will be delivering everything face-to-face from 2021 when we go back for the first term. And I know this has been an issue, and certainly the people that come on the MSc Executive Leadership do so very much for the peer learning and welcome meeting people on a face-to-face basis. So we're absolutely delighted that we're going to be back delivering on this basis going forward. I'm just going to now welcome David Malcolm to the session. Just checking that you can hear me, David. David, can you hear me? David, can you hear me now? I'm just going to check. David, can you hear me speaking now? I just check if David can.
Hello?
Hi, David, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. I've been hearing you all along. Apparently, I was on mute. My apologies. You'd think after a year and a half of doing this, I'd know how to unmute myself.
Don't worry, it's a common problem, isn't it? We've all had that said to us at some stage. Would you come off mute? Okay, David, you're very welcome to the session, and I'd just like to invite you to answer a few questions on the MSc and anything else that you would like to add. So first of all, David, if I could ask you why you settled on the MSc Executive Leadership for your personal development journey.
So, Dorothy, thanks for the invite this morning. I'm a career civil servant. I'm 30 plus years in the Northern Ireland Civil Service, and I've been through lots of management development courses that we've run, and you know,
David, we seem to have lost you again. Can you hear me now?
Hello?
Hi, David. Sorry, we just lost you there. I wonder, could you just start again? I don't know what happened, but we lost you. You went out of signal there. So would you mind just starting to answer question one again for us, please?
Right, apologies. So I'm a career civil servant. I've been through 30 plus years in the Northern Ireland Civil Service. I've been through a lot of management development courses that we've run locally. I was looking for something slightly more than that, as I suppose as my career's developed and as the challenge to me as a senior leader in the civil service has developed, leading 1,900 people in universal credit, for example, every problem I faced was a leadership one, and I just felt I needed more and more knowledge and help and support to do my job as I see I need to do it. And as I looked around the different courses internally, there was nothing internally that was absolutely floating my boat at all. I saw this course was recommended to me. I had a look at, and it struck me as a course that blended the pragmatic with the theoretical. So it wasn't just an academic course. It was a course that actually brought a lot of practical life into leadership, if you like. And I suppose that's what attracted me to it in the first place at the outset.
That's great. Thank you, David. Why would you recommend the MSc Executive Leadership as a course of study?
So I think, as I said, the course really did. What attracted me was the fact that it wasn't just a chance to get letters after your name or to. I'm not a natural academic. I can assure you, sitting down and studying and reading books and all that, yes, we all do it to a degree, but it's not something that I naturally aspire to or really get a lot of enjoyment out of. I very much like to be hands-on practical. I like to be doing things, so this course blended that, and so why would I recommend it? It was for all of those reasons. So, for example, the lecturers, yourself included, Dorothy, you weren't just professional full-time lecturers. You actually had experience in the private or public sector that you brought into class with you, and we learned a lot from that rather than just the theoretical. You were able to actually say how the theoretical worked, and so a lot of the tutors brought a lot of real personal life experiences which really helped with the learning style. The opportunity to mix with colleagues outside the civil service, the private sector, the voluntary sector, and to learn about the problems they were facing, and to understand the leadership challenges they had. The opportunity to go to Boston for that week, it was just amazing. Whilst I said I'm not a natural academic, I have to say that week in Boston, it was like being back at school again in the big American yellow school buses that you see on TV. It was probably one of the most interesting weeks that I've spent in many, many years. So it was just fantastic, and the opportunity to meet with the people we did in Boston, both in the college and the visits, was absolutely fantastic. So it was, and it was a relaxed course, an informal course. The pace of it was whatever we wanted it to be. So it didn't feel like we were ticking boxes or we had certain things we had to do. We wandered off subject and courses many a time because that's where we wanted to go. And so I think the whole structure to the course, the way the presenters and the professors come in, the lecturers come in, just made it a very informal and relaxed learning environment that actually really helped make the 2 years absolutely fly in.
Thank you, David. And finally, what benefits would you say that you gained from completing your studies on the MSc Executive Leadership?
Look, I'm a great believer in lifelong learning. I think it's really important. Leadership isn't a once and done. You don't do leadership and then you say, right, that's it. I'm now a leader. Things change, life moves on, new ideas come out all the time. It's not about right ideas and wrong ideas, it's different situations and that suit, and therefore it was a great opportunity to really add to my skill set. I was leading a very large operational team. I have no doubt that the things I learned, the connections I made, the people I met, the friendships we developed, all of that helped. When I was leading the Universal Credit COVID response last March, and it was a really challenging time. I've no doubt that the background that I was able to fall back to from the course was really beneficial to me. My team were really actually, they were really impressed with how we gelled together as a team, and indeed, a couple of them in the 360-degree feedback reflected how they had noticed a change in my leadership style, so they had. And so, getting that sort of affirmation from your team, from your colleagues, but also knowing when you're going home that actually I wasn't exposed today. I knew how to deal with that because of I was able to fall back on my learning. I was able to fall back on my experience. I remember the story that one of the other colleagues down in Dublin who managed the Skylon Hotel had an experience he had shared with me, dealing with a chef, and you're thinking, how would that be relevant to my life? But actually, I remembered what we talked about that night, and sort of that stuck with me, and that helped as well. So I've invested heavily in the course. I've got a lot. I put a lot into it, and I've got a lot out of it since I've come off the course. I've been fortunate to move jobs on a promotion. I didn't join the course and didn't go on to the course to get a promotion. That wasn't what it was about. But also it is helpful because it gave me the confidence to say, look, I am actually meeting the skill set of the next grade now, and I had the confidence of this course behind me that encouraged me to go for that, if you like. So personally, it's been fantastic for me. I think I've brought into my work, and say certainly the stuff we done during COVID, paying when we had a tenfold increase in our claims in the first fortnight. And really, we were all at sea and wondering what to do. The background that I got, I think that really helped me deliver for our teams at that stage as well. So I think there's been a lot for me personally, and I hope a lot for the people that I've worked with and for the people that we've been delivering for the public.
Thank you, David. Something that you said there that I hadn't picked up on, which I think is very important, the people that come on the MSc Executive Leadership do become very supportive of each other. And so in terms of helping people with their studies, there's a lot of support gleaned from your colleagues. Would that be fair to say, David?
Yeah, look, absolutely. The course, and I'd feel sorry for anybody going through the course on a remote basis at the minute. I know it's difficult, but the face-to-face, the things we learned back at Hotel Bar at 11:30 at night, and the discussions we had then, don't underestimate those, because you build up a network, you build up friendships, you go into your WhatsApp group, you have conversations, people were putting up, like, this happened to me today, what do you recommend? And sort of we had many action learning sets by WhatsApp, and so absolutely the contacts and the friendships you make are really, really important. And the site visits we done, Dorothy, we obviously when it was my turn, I hosted Storm, but we went to Denroy, we went to the factory in Bangor, we went to the Skylon, we went to an engineering firm in Mollusk. So we were exposed to a wide range of organizations, and we were able to learn about the real life challenges they were having, and that's probably why the course was so interesting, because we got the chance to put the theory into practice.
Yes, that's very true, David, and it is a very important part of the MSc Executive Leadership that it's all about experiential learning, and you do learn a lot from the other people on the course as well, so I'm glad you brought that out. Okay, David, if there's anything else you want to come in on just as I go through the final two slides, I'm happy for you to do so. If you are interested in anything in terms of what we've covered today, my email address, which isn't actually up on this slide, is D for Dorothy, m.mckee@ulster.ac.uk. And I'd be very happy to take any calls or to have conversations with people. I normally do an interview with people, and I can certainly share with you a lot of the experience I have of running this program. So I'd be delighted to hear from anybody if you feel this was of use. And as I say, please feel free to drop me an email and have a further chat. And I can also put you in contact with other people who have actually completed the course as well. So there are some further webinars, and please feel free to sign up for these. And I trust that this has been a useful experience.